everybody, I'm back. Feels like I'm periscoping a lot today. 2 is a lot. Getting some questions on Facebook about the Periscope earlier. We talked about pricing, actually talked about a lot of things. Talked about websites, talked about logos, talked about pricing. And my friend Mimi, she just moved and she's a cake decorator and she's in a completely different area. Hi everybody. And she's trying to make a name for herself. So she's doing a, she's doing her best to get clients and stuff. And she's got a website. But when you move to a new area, you're basically starting all over. Or if you just opened up your business, you're starting all over. So, it's difficult to get clients. So I thought I would give you guys some information straight from graphic designer knowledge that I have, my own business and marketing experiences and stuff like that I feel like is just no-brainer stuff, but I realize that a lot of people don't know this stuff. So some of it's pretty basic. If I have to run off, just don't mind me because my child is out here and she's crawling around into things that she's not supposed to be on, right? So, oh man, there's always like one person I have to block every single broadcast. So, websites. Some of the websites that I talked about that you can make yourself that are fairly easy is Wix, W-I-X, and Squarespace. You can use templates and upload your own photos, put in your own information and your logo and all that good stuff. And it's fairly easy if you have no, experience doing that kind of stuff. And the other one is to hire somebody to make your website for you. The problem with hiring somebody is then every time you update your website with content like photos or words or information, then that person who designed it has to update it for you. So that kind of sucks. So it's kind of worth it, in my opinion, to kind of go through the hard part of figuring out how to edit your own website on Wix or Squarespace, because it is really, really easy and it's made for people who don't know how to use websites. I use WordPress. I really like WordPress, but I feel like you do have to know a little bit what you're doing. And somebody just said Weebly. Weebly is really good. Yeah, mine's WordPress too. WordPress allows you to do a lot more. But so if you know a little bit about websites, it's definitely better than using Wix or Squarespace. So that's that part. As far as content that goes on your website, what is a website? A website is a place where you are putting all of your content, your photos, and your words, information. W-I-X, Wix. You're putting, sorry, I'm distracted, this baby. You're putting cake content, and the way that people find this content is through Google. So if you do not have things on your website that Google can find and use when people Google things, then your website is useless. So make sure you have things on your website that are things that people would be searching for, that are in your are in the demographic of people you're looking for. So if you want more wedding cake orders, you better have a crap ton of wedding cakes on your website, and they better look beautiful. I always delete old cake photos from my website. Like if they're not the best of my work, I get rid of them. It's better to have 10 super high quality cake photos than 50 sort of okay cake photos. You want the best of the best on your website. When you put a cake photo onto your website, this is going to be a little difficult for some people who might only have phones or iPads or something. Hold on. Baby's eating a stick. I know, my finger. I was making leaves. When you make a photo, when you save a photo to your computer and you go to upload it to your website, that photo better have a name. It should not be named DSC103. It should not be named Michael Anders Cake. It shouldn't be named Wedding Cake July, right? it should be named something that somebody is going to search for. That's how Google works. When you type into Google white wedding cake and white wedding cakes pop up, it's because those cakes are named that in their file. So you want to name your cakes. So if you have a white wedding cake, name it white wedding cake, or sophisticated wedding cake, or ruffle wedding cake, or sculpted birthday cake. Whatever it is, you need to name it a description that you think somebody would Google. So don't make it super complicated. If you can handle it, this would really help. And I'm talking about the hustle here. I'm talking about, you know, making yourself stand out from the competition, because anybody can say, I make cakes and I have a Facebook page, but then if you say you have a website, then you immediately are above a lot of people. And then if you name your photos, you're above a lot more people. Now, another way to make yourself above even more people in your area is to have a blog. A blog is another way to have content on your website that Google can find that will bring people to your website. So if let's say a long time ago, like when I very first started blogging, I saw a cake that was a chandelier cake back before chandelier cakes existed. And I did a blog post about hanging upside down cakes. And they weren't my cakes, they were other people's cakes. And I credited them. I said, this is this person's cake, this is this person's cake. And years later, the chandelier cake suddenly became a huge trend, and I have people constantly emailing me asking me if I can make them a chandelier cake because they think that I made those cakes, and they think that I am somebody who should know because that information pops up when they Google chandelier cake. And that works for anything. No, don't be doing a daily blog post. Do weekly. Weekly's plenty. You don't want to be spamming people. So the things you should be blogging about are your own cakes. Blog about every time you make a new cake. You don't have to have a ton of words on there, but you just say, this is a cake that I made. It is a white wedding cake. It has gum paste ruffles. It's pink and blue and whatever. Just describe it. Use the words to describe your cake, because all of those words that you're using to describe that cake, Google will see. And then if anybody types in white ruffle wedding cake in Pennsylvania, and that's what it says on your blog, white ruffle cake, then it comes up. Now, this takes time. You know, it might take you a few months, maybe, for things to start popping up, because Google needs time to like crawl your website and like verify it and make sure you're not a spam porn site and all that stuff. That happens. But back 7 years ago, when I made my website, I got an order like the next week. And I was like freaked out because I had no contracts. I had no, this is baby girl. She's butt naked. I had no contracts, no nothing set up. So I was like, oh my God, I have a website and a business, and I need to get on that. The blog should be on your website. It should not be separate, because the whole point is you're getting people to come to your website. You want them to see the content on your website. A blog does not have to be an article. Who reads articles? Nobody has time for that. I just want to see a couple pretty pictures and a couple words, and that's it. Yeah, blog site. Okay, so name your photos. Make sure you have blog posts up. Make sure you have a tab on your website that is just for contact information. That is your business name, your city and state. Yeah, you could use Blogger, but Blogger's not that great for you need different tabs. You don't want to just have one page that's just about a blog. You want to have a website where just one part is a blog. That's why I don't think you should use Blogger. Blogger is just for making blog posts that just kind of go through. It's not for a website. It's not the same thing. That's why you should use Wix or WordPress or Squarespace or Weebly. It is best to post photos individually or in an album. It is best to post one good photo. Okay, on my website you have categories. So that might be what she means by an album. But you have wedding cakes, sculpted cakes, specialty cakes, which is anything that's not a wedding cake or a sculpted cake. That's baby showers, birthdays, anniversaries, whatever. And I put cakes into those categories. So if somebody comes to my website and they only want to see wedding cakes, don't make them look at your sculpted cakes and your birthday cakes and stuff. Like, that's not what they want to look at. They want to just look at wedding cakes. If somebody wants to look at sculpted cakes, just let them look at that. That's very different. Do I make money off of my website besides selling cakes? What do you mean? I'm making leaves today. That's why my hands are green. Just a bunch of questions just popped up, so I had to read them. I don't think coupons... Oh, okay, paid advertising. Gotcha. Yes, I do. So a lot of people complain about Facebook ads because you used to be able to advertise on Facebook and it didn't cost anything. Well, boo freaking who. Now it costs something, okay? And this is the deal. Nobody else is probably advertising on Facebook because they're all like prideful about it. But if you spent $20, let's say a month, $20 a month, and just advertised maybe one collage of your best wedding cakes, I bet you, and you made the demographic to, like, you can say what the Facebook ad is going to, like, you want it to go everywhere in the world, or do you want it to go to just your city? If you paid for a Facebook ad that was just in your city, $20 a month, which is a tiny, tiny advertising budget, that's nothing. Immediately, you are above probably everybody in your area who is not advertising on Facebook. Now, just don't take your orders on Facebook, please. Make sure you have an email address on your contact page on your website so that people can get a hold of you and place a damn order for a cake. We don't take orders on Facebook. That's how mistakes happen, and you have no idea, you can't keep track of the order, you don't know what the details are. It's just not professional. My opinion. I always do my cake orders by email because I don't like being on the phone. I'm gonna talk to you forever. I got stuff to do. Are you okay? Okay, so those are a couple key things to getting people to your website. Yeah, who got time? I hate phone calls. So when people call me, they will say something like, yeah, this is so-and-so, and I'm interested in placing a cake order for a wedding cake. And I say, okay, that sounds great. I'm not at my computer right now, so I can't check my calendar, and so I can't really give you any information. So if you could send me an email and let me know how many people you need your cake to feed, what's your date of your event, and any ideas of the design that you might have, like photos or something, then I can get back to you and let you know if I'm booked or not, and if we can take the order, I can give you a quote, and we can go from there. That's what I do every single time. Bye-bye. Sorry, I was waiting for the questions to come back. How much deposit? Yes, 50%. And it should be called a retainer. It's non-refundable. Hi, Erin. Yes, I use PayPal or checks or Square. You got the hiccups? Yeah, you gotta put prices on your website. I've never had a return check because the final payment is due 2 weeks before the cake is due. So if their check bounced, then they wouldn't get a cake. I put basics I put basics on my website. So my base wedding cake price point is $4 per serving, and it's hardly ever that though, because nobody orders just a totally naked, simple white wedding cake from me anyways. If they are, they're probably ordering from the wrong person. So there's usually, they might be $4 a serving for a basic cake, and then they want like 5 billion sugar flowers on it, and then I charge those individually. Somebody asked about credit card fees. Missed it. Okay, so anyways, let's stay on topic here. Getting people to come to your website. Is there any other questions about how to get clients in your area to come to your website? I don't think it's a good idea to run sales per se. AdWords, I don't know, maybe. My husband's in charge of that stuff, so I can't remember if he has AdWords set up or not. No, I do not go to businesses and hand out business cards. That's what bridal shows are for. I also think that once you start blogging and getting good photos up onto your website, you'll start getting orders, and you can only have so many orders per week, so it's not like you need that many orders to even start getting busy. I don't leave cards with my delivery. That's extremely unprofessional. The cake is about them. It's not about you. If your cake is good and if your cake is delicious, then those people will tell everybody. You don't need to leave your business cards. They'll just go in the trash anyways. I charge $2 a mile for delivery because I don't deliver super far. I used to deliver like all the way to the coast. How did I get business? One second. Ugh, sorry. How did I get business when I very first started? I kind of talked about this earlier, and this is gonna have to be my last question because baby girl's getting tired and I gotta put her to sleep, and then I gotta get back to work on the cake. But I made a website. That's the whole point of this Periscope, is when I very first started, I made a website. I put up, I think, maybe 10 photos of my best cakes that I had made so far for friends, and like the next week I had a cake order. I use business cards at bridal shows, and I also keep them in my purse so that if I'm ever somewhere and I randomly start talking to somebody about cakes, then I have one to give them. Don't pay anybody to make your website at the top of Google, because that stuff doesn't work. It's just a scam. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go change a diaper and put this baby girl to sleep. If you guys have any other suggestions for Periscopes that you need to know, just send me a PM or just leave it on my page, and we'll do more Periscopes based off of what you guys want to know. So thank you for the hearts. Love you guys.